prefer the protocol to be.
But is ours written with, does ours contain anything saying about teachers?
I'm not sure.
I would just ask that, I didn't get a chance to do it because I didn't, but I would make sure that it aligns with policy 248 since there's a reference there. So whatever 248 says, make sure this says. I'm thinking that's what, I didn't get a chance to look it up, if I was a betting man, I'd say it's probably the policy.
That's a good point.
And just make sure it aligns.
Okay. And then on that same page, page 5, at the top, there was a sentence I wanted to delete, and it says, in the case of sports teams under the direction of the athletic director, I just delete that whole sentence, we don't have one. And above where it references coaches and teams, I was gonna delete that to just limit it to advisors and student organizations, CTSOs.
You don't necessarily have a sport team, but you do have groups, you have.
Skills USA,
Yeah,
FFA.
Would that fall under where it says club members? I mean, could you leave that word?
Yeah, I would leave that part. So people who are in student organizations, that language would stay. And then the only other thing that I was uncomfortable with is, in thinking about having to enforce this policy, is it asks for us to have teachers copy us on any electronic correspondence they have with kids. And I'm just thinking about like what really happens here. So, Brian Moser and Morgan Welding will take a group of students out to states. They'll be going to various competitions. Peter, your competition's coming up, like your bus is leaving. Like they're gonna send you a text message to say, hey, make sure you get out here. And I don't necessarily feel like that needs to be CC'd in with all administrators. So I'd like to take out the CC part of that.
To that point, one of our board directors said too, because she's a teacher, and I used to get them as well, was thank you notes from kids and parents. I mean, how do you put that in there as appropriate? Because this is no contact, no written contact. Right? And parents do send notes, and teachers send notes to parents. So is that,
How hard is it to CC administrator?
Well, I'm just thinking about, because teachers are typically using their personal cell phones when we're out there on a trip like that with our student leaders. So if you're in a rush and I'm like, Peter, you're gonna miss your competition, I think it's adding an undue burden onto the teacher to be like, where's Kathleen's number? And then that person's included too. I mean, the truth is,
I don't know how to do it, so.
yeah.
you don't have a text?
I know how to text, but I don't text everybody or just one.
Oh, come on, Jim.
Very careful. I got a text.
But I think if we don't have them copy the building principal, and what we're saying is any message should be sent out to all. And except if there's a real legitimate concern, like you're missing the bus, your competition's coming up. I'd like to remove in which case the communications will be copied to the building principal, unless someone has a very strong opinion about it.
Anything and everything we change or move, we should send to the PSBA.
And this will still
before
go
it
back
comes
to
us
PSBA.
and make sure we aren't
Mhm.
violating anybody's rights.
Yeah.
This says that all communications should be sent to all members of the team, club, whatever, except for privacy matters. And those are the ones that get copied from the building administrator. You don't want to leave that in there?
So,
The ones that aren't copied, everybody. Just except for one person, those are the only ones that are copied to the building administrator.
yeah, so what I'm proposing is all electronic communications from advisors shall be sent in a single communication to all participating club members, except for communications concerning individual students' medical or academic privacy matters, anything further protected. But if you just end it there with a period, then the scenario where I gave you where I'm telling Peter
Mhm.
he's gonna be late for a competition, would not be permissible according to the policy.
Unless it went.
Let's
Only
just say
Peter
that's
that
what
came
it
on the
is.
bus.
Hey, everybody, Peter's late.
Again.
Yeah. Well, I'm just gonna put like a little uncertain question mark next to that, and
I
then,
was gonna say, I think that was something with ours, I know, with different ones where it was specified that it was one-way texting, not back and forth texting. There's a lot of different ones that can be
My
used in that
101.
way.
yeah,
That it shows, you know,
Yeah.
you're getting a message out, where you don't necessarily need the response back. It's not a conversation. It's information being sent out,
yeah.
you know, where in that case,
Plus, I believe that
Certain
app
purpose.
captures those texts
it keeps it,
and keeps them.
yeah.
I know several of the teachers up at the high school use that app for that reason.
Yeah,
And it's only one way, you can't respond to it, and it's just, you know, don't forget that such and such assignment is due tomorrow.
Yeah.
And it just goes out.
Coaches use it too.
yeah,
To get information out there. And I know with ours, like with my experience, parents were invited to be on that as well. So if you chose to have that go to your cell phone, you were seeing exactly what the students were getting too, you know. Kind of covers every-
yeah, a lot of our teachers use the
Yeah.
online,
Yeah, yeah, I think it just protects everyone.
yeah. Okay, I've got a note here for myself just to check to see what Pennridge did to that particular policy. And, a note remind Royal One, and at this point, I'm not gonna take out, communication will be copied to the building administrator, but, over the next month when we reconvene, we can make a decision before it goes to first reading. And that was the end of my concerns. Does anyone else on the committee have an overall concern with any other aspect of the policy?
Are you done on page 3?
Yeah, unless you had
No,
something.
no, I wasn't sure, because we also said, no, the question was on page 5, so I don't have to skip anything.
Yeah, nothing was happening on 6 or 7. It made my eyebrows raise. Okay, that concludes the policy program meeting. It's our best turnout ever.
Hey, food will do it every time.